Hi, guys, and welcome back. So, today we are going to talk about the book that is the biggest reading disappointment of my year so far. And it came as an absolute surprise to me because we are talking about a science fiction novel, about a highly popular science fiction novel that I absolutely expected to love and just eat up and be, looking forward to jump into the sequels because it is a trilogy so far. And I was just, hoping to have a few great weeks ahead of me of reading this whole series. And now I feel like I have to stop after the first book. So I'm really disappointed, but yeah, let's get straight into it. So the book we are talking about is Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So this is the first novel of a trilogy so far. He has released 3 books so far in the series, the Children of Time series. This first book came out in 2015, and it's been on my TBR for a few years, I think. And I've only ever read good things about it. It has a great rating everywhere. It was just something that I would expect to love because, usually I do love these kind of mainstream science fiction novels that get a high rating. Usually I find myself enjoying them as well. Of course, there's some more niche books that I also enjoy, but I do feel that I'm quite a sucker for these mainstream popular science fiction books. So that's what I was expecting here. I was expecting to have just a great time with Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. But unfortunately, this didn't happen. So maybe let's first talk a little bit about what the book is about for those who haven't read it. So let me give a quick introduction here first. Book one, the structure is very interesting actually, because book one focuses first of all on setting up the whole world, the whole storylines. And the interesting thing about it is basically there's 2 completely separate storylines that kind of intercept every now and then, but really only collapse together at the very end of the book. And it's 2 very different storylines. So basically, for storyline number one, it's been many years since the old civilization died out, and everything has been destroyed in what we think is a nuclear war. And the only really remaining part of humanity is like this one safe haven spaceship that is on the way, on the lookout for a new world. And they believe that there are some habitable planets out there that have been, by the old civilization, have been terraformed and kind of prepared for potential settlers in the future. So they are on the lookout for one of these worlds, basically. And then what happens at kind of the very beginning of the book, from their point of view, is they encounter this one planet, this one world that has been subject of such a terraforming project, and they kind of have their sensors out. They realize it's very hospitable, it's very habitable. They try to land on it, and they try to make the world theirs, when they get interrupted by what is like the remains or the remaining part of the frozen mad scientist Ivana Kern that is protecting this world. So this planet has, by the old civilization, by a scientist Ivana Kern, has been kind of a experiment on first of all terraforming, and second of all, Ivana Kern kind of tried to make intelligent apes on this planet, and she has been kind of supervising this development. She was not originally planned to, but due to a few unlucky situations, she ended up kind of in a satellite that is flying around this planet, and supposed to be, she's in like a cryo sleep. She's supposed to be woken up by the satellite as soon as these apes develop human intelligence, and then that's what kind of happens. So she's very protective over this planet, and when the human settlers arrive, she is using her old civilization, much more competent weapons against this spaceship of the humans, and is telling them clearly, well, this planet is not for you. You can't stay here, and they are sent on their way, basically. So the other Stein really develops on the life that is developing on this planet itself, which the scientist Kern has intended to be these apes to be, but due some accident, basically, a spider type of species gets injected by the kind of science that should have made the apes develop. So not the apes are developing, but the spiders are developing super fast in their intelligence and in their way of building a culture, building a community, and they are slowly, or I should say, quickly raising through basically of the same developments that we have seen happen with humans here back on Earth, right? And then there's a lot of time skips. So the humans, the spaceships, they are going out to look for a new world. They are not successful. On the other hand, we see the spiders developing on planet, kind of getting into war with some other species on their planet. While at the end, the humans basically come back because they didn't find another planet, and they try to fight their way into this planet again and get past the satellite and the weapons by Dr. Ivrona Kern. So why am I so negative about this book? Why didn't I like this book at all? Well, I think you can hear from how I introduced the plot that I feel that there's just not a lot of things happening here. So this is my main concern here. And the worst thing is really I'm feeling so disappointed that I didn't enjoy this book, because usually this is exactly the type of story that intrigues me. The world building is quite interesting by Tchaikovsky. I usually like these like space novellas, science fiction, and especially things that happen after the kind of current human civilization has perished. So I usually enjoy these stories very much, just like the Bobbyverse series or books by Andy Weir and these type of books. So I absolutely love these stories. So I went into this with a lot of high expectations, and I was really hoping to have like a full new series here that I could enjoy, that I could love, that I could reread, that I could read and listen to the audiobook as well, because there's a great production of the audiobooks. I went into this maybe with too high expectations. This could have been my fault, but I still feel that it's been very underwhelming. And I also not only went into this with high expectations, I've been, kind of waiting to get into this until I had a lot of time so I could really enjoy it and I could read all the books in one go. So I made time for this, and that just feels so let down by these books. I did write down a few points that were a huge problem for me. So, for example, one thing that I just realized is when I started reading the book, I maybe read a few pages or read a chapter, and I couldn't remember at all what was happening, what the characters were. Like it didn't feel memorable at all. So what ended up happening is I had to restart the book maybe 10 or almost 15 times until I finally got into a little bit of a flow where I could, follow the story and remember a little bit what is happening. So it just didn't grip me from the very beginning. That was one of the main issues, I think. And then the other thing is that the storylines and the characters just felt super forgetful to me. Like I feel that this book was so long. It's a thick book, and I feel that everything that happened into that book could easily be condensed into 10 pages, and you wouldn't really lose anything substantial in it. So to me, it just felt like we have, like, because there are these two different storylines. So I felt like we were jumping back and forth between two filler episodes, basically. That's what this reading experience was for me. So it was super painful. It was super disappointing. And then also with, like, we often have these time skips where Holston goes back into his like cryo sleep, or where we just jump over hundreds of years of development with the spiders. Also, how come these spiders live that long? I don't really understand that. Or are these new spiders that have the same name, that we have Portia from the beginning until the end? I don't really get it. I don't think it was clearly explained, or maybe I read over that part and forgot it as well. So please let me know down in the comments what is going on there with the lifetime of the spiders. I don't get it. So these time skips, apart from just making it very difficult to have like a red line in the story, I felt that they were actually jumping over some of the more interesting plot points, like what exactly happened with the development of the relationship between Holston and Lane. What kind of was going on there, we never really get to explore that. Or how life actually was like in Great Nest. We only got like a very superficial explanation of how the day-to-day life and how these cities look of the spiders. Also, like the interaction and the development between people, again, I think there was not a lot of character development both on the human and the spider side. I felt this was even worse with the spiders. So for me, basically all the spiders had the same exact same personality, except for the male spider. What was her name? His name I forgot. I forgot again already. So I don't remember. I only finished the book a few days ago. It's absolutely crazy. Um, so I feel like there's a lot of time that passes with very little plot happening. It just felt very, very, very underwhelming, especially since this is the first book in the series. There should have been a little bit more of like development of the world and exploration of how things work nowadays. This book left a lot of room for us to make up, for us as the reader to make up your own rules and your own things on how life and technology currently works, what is possible, what is not possible. And I mean, this may be explored a little bit more in the further books, but at this point, like my biggest issue right now is I don't like to start something and not finish it. And with like a series like this, I feel like I'm very torn. Like, should I continue reading these books? Like, do you guys think I would like book 2 and 3 better? Like, what are they centering around? Do you feel that they are able to make use of kind of the groundwork that the first book made and able to develop more in terms of plot and story points? Or do you think I would just feel the same way like after reading the first one? Please let me know in the comments below. Please also, just let me know what I may have overseen here in reading this book. Let me know your thoughts on Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. The only thoughts I want to leave you with is, Adrian, please don't sell the movie rights to these books. I don't want to see like all these spiders on the big screen. This would be so horrific. Just don't do it, okay? Don't do it. So yeah, that's my main point here. Other than that, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.